What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We back with it again, you know. I look real good in this Nick Blue, you feel me? Nah, man, this should look fly. Don't play, you feel me? Number one, you feel me? I want to thank everybody for getting on my videos. Appreciate y'all showing love. Definitely, if you supporting this channel, give me a like, a share, and definitely, most definitely, hit that subscribe button. If you want to donate to this channel, the link is in the description box below this video, also in the comment section. So today we're gonna get into part two of the disrespect of Carmelo Anthony has reached an all-time high. You know what I mean? This part two. So I was driving in part one, so let's just get right into it because I don't want to waste no time because people have been waiting for this. I got trolls hitting me up, but I don't want to disrespect. I got people, I got passionate Melo haters, attacking me, attacking other channels. That lets you know how powerful the hate is. The hate. You feel me? This Nick Blue. Stop playing. You know what I mean? So number one, I want to let y'all know something because it was a gentleman in my comment section who was just hitting me up. I'm just dogging Melo. Just no respect. No respect whatsoever. It's just good gosh. Like, I wonder how old is he? Because he got no respect. And a lot of people don't got no respect. But let me put a couple facts on the table. It was people, before I put the facts on the table, it was some people slandering Melo, talking about he's not a winner, he's not a team player, too much ISO ball, he only cared about was the money. I addressed a few things in part one, but a couple things that I didn't touch on was, number one, let's address the fact of Carmelo Anthony not being a winner. Let's really get into that. Carmelo Anthony, in college, he actually went to college. He won a national championship. Not too many. So he's nothing but he is a champion. Even though he was in college, he was a championship basketball player coming into the league with high hopes. I feel like a lot of the luck of the draw with Melo. If Melo would have went to Detroit, who knows what would have happened? I probably wouldn't be doing this live right now. But nonetheless, starting him getting in the NBA with Denver, going to Denver. Melo made the playoffs every year of his career until Phil Jackson came into play. Once he met up with Phil Jackson, he ruined Melo's playoff career. I'm not sure. I don't have the paper in front of me. But I believe it was over 10 plus seasons he was in the league. Seven. I believe it was about 10 seasons in. He made the playoffs every season. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, all in the same draft class. They didn't make the playoffs their first season. Melo took the Nuggets all the way to the playoffs in his rookie season. They could have gave Melo the Rookie of the Year, but they was just scared to do it because they had, they had to protect LeBron, but they could have did it anyway. They could have gave it a joint Rookie of the Year because they both was dominant. So just think about that for a second. To say Carmelo's not a winner, but he made the playoffs every season until he met up with Phil Jackson. Over 10 plus seasons in the NBA making the playoffs. He's not a winner. Carmelo's not a winner. When was the last time the Denver Nuggets made it to the conference finals? When was the last time the Nuggets made it deep into when was the furthest the Nuggets made it to the playoffs since today? Since as I speak. Who was the player leading that team to the conference finals? Damn that, I believe it was a game or 2 games away from the NBA finals. I believe that was Carmelo Anthony. The Nuggets, they was killing stuff last year. They was the number 1 seed all throughout I believe the Warriors just edged them out at the last second. You know how the West go. Every day it is flip-flopping. You know, 1, 2, 3. You may be in third place. Next thing you know, you're in seventh place. You know, it's just how it go. You know, so he makes the playoffs every season. And another thing, Carmelo's not a winner. When was the last time the New York Knicks were relevant? I believe that was when Carmelo Anthony was on that roster. That was the last time the Knicks made the playoffs, when Carmelo Anthony was in that roster. When was the last time the Knicks was a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference? I believe that was when Carmelo Anthony was on the roster. There was the 2nd seed in the East. That year they lost to the Pacers. That year they met. It was a tough matchup. You know, another thing I want to say to you guys about the tenure of Carmelo Anthony with the Knicks, that it just kind of goes overshadowed. Nobody touches on it. Carmelo Anthony did not get a fair shake with the Knicks when he first signed. A lot of people who don't know, I don't know the youngsters, but Carmelo Anthony came. What was the reason why Melo came to the Knicks? Do anybody know that? I know it may have been for different reasons. Of course, family came into play. But what was the basketball reason why Melo wanted to come to New York? It was because of Amari Stoudemire. If it wasn't for Amari Stoudemire, the Knicks would have never even got Carmelo Anthony. The first year, that was 2010, Amari Stoudemire was in the MVP race. Amari Stoudemire was the best power forward in the NBA, top 3 player in basketball 2010. Went the first year with the Knicks. Amari Stoudemire was a top 3 player in basketball that year. Carmelo Anthony was rushing to get to the Knicks. Until they got to the playoffs, I'm trying to tell you, Carmelo, then Amari's back went out, and then that was it. Carmelo Anthony never played with that Amari Stoudemire. The what I'm trying to explain to you, that Amari Stoudemire that was the top 3 player in the NBA, Melo never got a chance to play with the player while he came. Could you imagine if the level Amari was playing at that time, and they had Melo? The sky would have been the limit. You know, Melo damn near had to pick up the pieces. If you don't remember, Amari Stoudemire, he was making $100 million. This is before the $200 million. He signed the max deal at $100 million, clogging the Knicks cap space. The Knicks didn't have no cap space to get nothing. They couldn't go out and get major free agents until, I believe it was the year after Melo re-signed. They weren't able to get nobody of significance because Amari Stoudemire was clogging up everything. And that's what led to some issues with the Knicks not able to improve the team and do things of that nature. It wasn't all because of Melo taking a max deal. You don't understand. Amari Stoudemire was still under contract with the Knicks, and he was out half the season. He just was never 100% ever again. After that first season, Melo went there to team up with Amari and to lead the Knicks to a championship, but he could never do that because he never got the player he came to play with. And that seems like I said, nobody discusses it. Why is that? Also, I want to get into something. It was a situation today where Nick Young, he had said, why is Carmelo Anthony not in the NBA? And he has stated that it's because of Carmelo Anthony's Instagram videos of him dominating how we all know he could dominate. You know, Carmelo Anthony is still better than half of the NBA right now. You feel me? So Nick Young said it's because of his Instagram, how he's just dominating the competition. But I just found that so funny because, you know why? Everybody posts his workout videos. How many workout videos you see people doing things, drills, this, that, and the third? Every player is doing that. Why is Carmelo Anthony being penalized for posting videos of him working out? You want to know why? I know why. It's because he's being blackballed. You know, number one, Melo he's receiving the Allen Iverson treatment. They know Melo could play, and no coach want to bring him on because they trying to make him sit on the bench. They actually trying to disrespect Carmelo Anthony. Like I said, it's very disrespectful. Carmelo Anthony is a top 50 player in NBA history, arguably top 25, definitely top 30. We can argue that in the comments section. Carmelo Anthony, he just he received a lot of bad breaks. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not gonna be just completely biased, which I am, because I love Melo. I'm a Knicks fan to the day I die. I told y'all that. But what I want to state with you guys is one thing I hold Carmelo Anthony with, and slightly give a little edge to Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson did a lot of chaotic things with the Knicks, but it was that one season where he actually, because I believe Phil wanted to just rebuild from jump start. So Phil came in not really wanting Carmelo Anthony there. He did, but he really could care less if he stayed or not. But it was a point in time during that tenure where he was trying to push Carmelo out the door, but he did give Melo one chance at a championship. Not a championship, but some playoff success. I'm going to hold Melo for one issue. I believe Melo should have took the Knicks to the playoffs this year, but he didn't. And you could blame it on a multitude of issues. The year when Phil went and got Derrick Rose, Courtney Lee, you had Porzingis, I believe it was his second season. So he played well that year. And then they had Joakim Noah. This is before Joakim Noah just completely phased out of the NBA. And then they had Brandon Jennings coming off the bench. You know, Phil tried to do something. You know, I feel like, I'm not saying they should have been a championship team, but that year, I believe the Knicks should have made it to the playoffs that year. And that's the only thing I'm going to hold on Carmelo Anthony, that he didn't get the job done that year. Every other season, he put his best foot forward. But I'm going to hold him on that one issue. I believe he had the pieces to get the Knicks to the playoffs that year. Derrick Rose was playing pretty decent basketball. You had Brandon Jennings coming off the bench. Courtney Lee was there. Like I said, I like that team. Melo should have led that team to the playoffs, at least a 6, 7 for 8 seed. But like I said, things, you know, it's kind of tough when you got people on 1-year deals. Everybody want to prove something. You know, it's a crazy situation. You know, also, and then it was a situation where they said Carmelo Anthony, people were saying that Carmelo's not a team player. You know, and like he's not a good teammate, this, that, and the third. What happened when Melo left the Knicks? Porzingis was ready to leave right after. Carmelo Anthony, see, I'm a Knicks fan and I followed the team. You know, I'm just here to tell. So I know I've been watching. All I watched was Knicks basketball. You understand? Even when things were not going well, I watched Knicks basketball. Okay. So what I want to tell you is Melo took Porzingis under his wing like a big brother. You know, he don't get the credit. He don't get that type of credit. People don't talk about stuff like that. Melo left, and Porzingis is ready to leave too after the way Melo was treated. The organization damn near screwed Melo. You know, people don't touch on things like that. You know, Melo, when the triangle offense was first installed in the New York Knicks system, Melo tried like hell to excel in that system. Melo was moving the ball in that triangle. He was setting screens. Melo just was not LeBron James, you know. That's what I want to say. But the problem with Melo is Melo came in the draft class with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. And people talk about he don't pass the ball, this, that, and the third. The only reason why they state these things is because he was in that draft class. And that hinders Melo, because when you see Melo, you're supposed to think he's supposed to be LeBron or Wade. And, you know, I would say that he's one slot under those guys. I believe he's more offensively talented than Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, offensively talented. I'm not saying the more dominant. LeBron James is a better player than both. LeBron is the more dominant player. You know, I just believe Melo. I don't believe Melo was he was more skilled than LeBron offensively. But what I was gonna say was, like I said, Melo, he just received a raw deal, man. People really don't give Melo his respect. You know, he really tried. He really tried in that offense. You know, just they didn't have the pieces. Melo was doing everything he can. You know, he didn't cause a lot of chaos. You know, people probably think it's all about him, but he didn't really move like that. You know, Melo was a professional team player. You know, he don't get that respect. You know, he went to Oklahoma City. He helped that team get to the playoffs. You know, he don't get enough credit for what he was doing in Oklahoma City. He went to a lot of people buildings and gave them the business. He played against Giannis in Oklahoma. This was a year ago. He gave Giannis the business. He went out to Golden State. He was putting it on Durant, giving them boys the business. You know, even the season with Houston, he was only in Houston for 2 minutes. You know, I mean, not literally. He was there for 10 games, but he even excelled in Houston. You know, he did well, and he had a couple of 30-point games in Houston. In Houston, he was just used as a spark plug. You know, Oklahoma City was going to go out in the first round whether Melo was there or not. They just was trying to blame Melo, and then look what happened. You know, that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Melo is not the fall guy. Melo is one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. You know, first ballot Hall of Famer. People need to start putting some respect where it's due. This is Carmelo Anthony that we're talking about here. I'm not talking about Vince Carter. We're talking Carmelo Anthony. You got Vince Carter in the NBA. 40 plus. You know Melo better than Vince. You know he better than Vince. You got Jared Dudley getting on. You got what's his face? Lance Thomas. Anthony Bennett. Need I say more? Do I just need to keep flowing down the list? Yeah, Melo's gonna be back in the NBA, but like I said, I just want to let people know that put some respect on Melo's name. This is part 2 of the disrespect of Carmelo Anthony, the legendary Carmelo Anthony, is at an all-time high. Stay tuned for part 3. I definitely appreciate y'all watching these videos. Give me a like, a share, and most definitely hit that subscribe button. Number 1, if you want to donate to this channel, if you like this video, you support my channel, definitely give me a donation in the description box below this video, also in the comment section. Debate me, get up in the comment section. I'm communicating. This ain't one of these channels where I just sit back. I'm ready to connect with the people. This is the people's channel. It's not my channel. This is the people's channel. You feel me? This is your channel, not my channel. It's yours. And we're going to make it. I'm not blocking nobody. You can say whatever you want to say. That's what I want. I'm inviting everything. You don't feel like you gotta walk on eggshells over here. This way I want the people in here. This is the people's channel. Get up in the comment section. Get at me. I got more team previews coming next. I'm gonna be covering the NBA season all season and beyond. Subscribe right now.